Hello, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcasts. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm going to be your host every week, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Lisbon time, as we do this journey and adventure of wellness in all parts of our lives.
I'm so excited to introduce to you today Laleh Hancock. She has more than 30 years experience in growing businesses and empowering people to have more wellness in all aspects of their life. One of the tools she's dedicated the last 10 years to getting out in the world is one of the fastest growing forms of self-care, the Access Consciousness Bars. Access Bars is a light touch stress relief technique that's been proven to provide similar effects to meditation, decreasing feelings of stress and anxiety while increasing feelings of peace, wellness, relaxation, and happiness. In addition, she's also building a wellness center in Dubai through one of her companies. Laleh is truly an inspiration, so please stick around. This is a great discussion. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you all so much.
With all of this, I was hesitant. I came from a business background. I came from a scientific background. My degree is in cellular and molecular biology. It was about proving.
Okay.
This is nothing about proving, and it's the unknown of possibilities. People call me about all sorts of problems. And then one session or two or three or whatever, they just realize, hey, I can create a different world for myself. I don't have to sit here and live in the story of the problem anymore. Even their health problems go away. Their problems, intimacy or whatever, like it goes away because they're willing to try something different. Now, everyone gets to choose. I'm disclaimering it that I'm not the person with the answers, and I'm not the healer that's going to heal you of everything, but I can empower you and your body to heal what you want to heal. I don't know. I just get so excited. And that's why I travel. For the last 12 months, twice I've stayed somewhere more than 2 weeks. I'm just off to a new country because so many people want to know how else can they empower themselves, and they are curious. So I really wonder what's possible now, because COVID created a lot of havoc, but it also created people stepping up and actually wanting to explore what's true for them.
Because right now you're traveling all over the world, you're building wellness centers, you do access bars with groups of many people, sometimes at a time. I want to hear why you do this, because from what I understand, your background is science and business, and you wanted to be a pediatrician. And so why this?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because from the beginning, I would say very young age, I always wanted to help people. Like, I had the greatest joy when someone was sad and then they were happy, or someone was ill and then they were healthy. And so, even though I decided not to pursue the medical route, which there was an earthquake in California that kind of assisted in that,
Okay.
um, I realized that I never gave it up, like even at work, even, building companies in the corporate world or technology or anything like that. Like, people would always come in my office and they would be frustrated, or they're like ready to quit, or they'd be ready to do something. And they would just sit down and we'd have a conversation, and then they would leave happy. They'd feel energized. They felt like empowered and excited about their job again.
Hmm.
And so I don't think I ever gave it up per se, but I realized it looked different. So I would, on the weekends or whatever, I always kept learning different things. Some can call it self-development, some can call it business workshops, some call it modalities. I just, over the last 30 years, have been trying different things. but they were always for me and then the toolbox. So if you had a problem going on, or if you needed to be more creative, I would pull that tool out of my toolbox, and there it was.
Okay.
But 10 years ago, I actually went to an event. It was a workshop. It was a weekend workshop. And it was called Quantum Touch. And it's something that was created really to assist everyone, but a lot of the medical industry ends up utilizing it as well. So we had doctors and nurses and others that realized that they have a gift with their touch. And so this weekend workshop I attended, and the woman that sat next to me was really interesting. She hadn't walked her dogs for 6 years. Wow. And I ended up working on her knees for about 20 minutes. And then she's like, you don't understand. I don't know what you did, but my knees don't hurt. I can bend them. I haven't been able to bend them this way.
So you were trained in quantum touch at that time, and you were working with her using that modality, that method.
I don't even know if we were trained. We were partnered up from the beginning. Like, okay, the teacher didn't even talk that much. She talked for 5 minutes, and then she said, "Put your hands on people," and then she started talking about quantum touch and the energies of quantum touch. And so, it was this magical, quickie. And so during lunch, she left and went to go walk her dogs, which she hadn't done in 6 years, and she came back and she was so excited. So after that class, we kept in touch, and I worked with her one-on-one on different things that were going on in her life. And then she called me on my birthday, or the day before my birthday or something like that. She was like, can I come gift you something for your birthday? And I was like, yes, a gift.
Right.
But I knew it wasn't like a physical gift of like a gift. It just was like, she said, I learned this tool. And I was like, wow, like just the energy of it felt really good. And on my birthday, she came, she laid down her massage table, and I lay down, and then she put her hand on the back of my head and my third eye, and I melted. I was like, what is this? Like, what is this thing? And I have to tell the whole world about it. And I was so excited. Now, everyone experiences this thing called the access bars different. That day for me, like, I'm a very high energetic kind of person and very active and very talkative. It sped me up even more. I had even more energy, where some people, they just relax and go to sleep. Some people, they cry because there's certain things that come up for them. Like, it's just, you can have such different experiences. And after that, I just knew the world needs to know that this exists.
Yes.
Like, at that moment, my life was going, what people would say, amazing. I was married. My husband's career was doing very well. My business was doing really well. My kids were very active in school. Exams were going, like, everything in our lives were going very well. We had just bought a house. We sold our house in less than 1 day. Okay. And so there was this stress of selling the house and buying the new house. My business was booming. Like, it just seemed like every part of my life was stressed. And in even the first 5 seconds and 5 minutes of whatever this thing was, I wasn't stressed anymore. I was just enthused. And I was like, if I can let go of my stress this quickly, like, who else wants to know about this, Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. So I actually, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, that was 10 years ago, and it's just been a journey since then. And I'll tell you more about your original question, but go ahead, ask your question.
Oh, so I have done access bars once, as you know, largely because you had made a mention. And of course, every time we've spoken a couple times on the phone, and I feel like every time we communicate or speak, you're in a different part of the world because you're off teaching these amazing modalities quite literally around the world. anyway, I'm in Baltimore, right? So I found someone here in Baltimore that does access bars, and it was really fantastic for me. I think what was very curious. So I'm very familiar with energy medicine,
Yes.
energy work, and I guess Reiki especially, but I've tried many different types, and I can usually feel the energy um, kind of move through my body, move into my body generally, sometimes out of my feet, but generally moves in my body, or kind of undulates throughout my body. This was a little different. So there were points in the skull that my Jennifer would touch, and instead of energy kind of flowing into my body, I actually felt like it was being pulled out. Um, and that was a very different sensation for me. And then it was right after, one of the things we had talked about is, um, this platform called Karma Hub.
Yeah.
And it was about an hour or so after that session when this new name, the Global Healing Hub, which I feel will serve Karma Hub very well, stepping into this new name, crossed my path. But it was just a kind of a presentation of that name, and one that I sat on for a while. I really had to, had no intention of changing the name. Anyway, my point being, it was a different sensation. It was very effective. I mean, I really felt some things shift in addition to that, and I thought of this amazing name, or rather, this amazing name, the Global Healing Hub, was presented to me, and that I'm very excited about. And so, anyway, thank you for talking to me about access bars. As I had made mention right before the little video started, I tend to pay attention when things cross my paths in groups of three, and within
Yeah.
yeah, so within about a week and a half period, access bars actually crossed my path. That name crossed my path 4 times, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And of course, when I did it, some real change happened. But it's just all very interesting when you stop and pay attention.
It's interesting because access bars is part of the body of work of access consciousness. And access
Okay.
consciousness has been around over 30 years. The first tool is the bars. It's the one that Gary Douglas, who's the founder, channeled the information when things weren't going well in his life. Like, he actually was asking the universe, hey, my life is not going the way I like, help me, contribute to me, how can I make my life greater, but also be able to touch more people's lives. And he got this massage therapist who said, hey, come to New York. I want you to channel me during this massage. And that's where all of this got created. And the interesting part is that it's the first, but yet it's something that we utilize every single day. Like, your experience was that, like you said, most things are about what can I put inside of you. We don't need anything to be put inside of us. Our bodies are magic and miracles. What they require is space and maybe an energy that contributes to them being able to do what they need to do, and the bars is that. Bars is not about the practitioner or the facilitator telling you and your body what to do. It's that, hi, I'm here. I have no point of view of what you have to receive, but let's let the miracles happen. And whatever you're ready to let go of, you will. Whatever you're ready to receive, you will. But it's this crazy thing. Like, every person, the tip of their finger, like, that tip of their finger, mine and yours are going to be different, right?
Okay.
There are 32 points on your head that are little indents that are the size of this. So every single one of us was actually born with these little spaces waiting for a finger to go there.
Okay.
And so one thing I really enjoy about getting my bars run as much as possible, that's why I'm in Mexico, that's why I've stayed in Mexico, is that where I'm staying, I have a friend who lives here. And every day we've been running each other's bars. And it's been so amazing because most of the time people choose things because there's a problem. They say, oh, I have stress, or they say, I'm not feeling good, or, the monkey head, like the monkey mind is just going crazy or whatever. Yes, you can use it for all those reasons. But you could use it because you're happy and you just want to have more space and you want to gift and receive different energies. You could do it because of like you were curious, right? And you went and you tried it. But what it does is that these points, they let go of the points of views you have about it. Like one of them is healing. Okay. It's right here. And what's interesting is like my mom would always say, if I had a headache, she'd say, put your fingers on your temple, just put it there,
Okay.
And that's actually the point of healing. And when someone gently touches it with these bar sessions, it's not telling you how to heal. It's just telling you all the ways that you've defined because your mom told you this is how your body heals. Doctors told you, media told you, teachers told you. You let it go. You let go those points of views and you give permission to your body to actually heal the way you and your body can. So it's not about telling you, it's about empowering you to what you know, what your body knows. And then that's how you heard or you communicated with this energy that wanted to be your global healing platform, But before that, maybe you heard it 20 times, but it didn't register because your point of view was, the other name,
Right.
Karma, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So when we let go all these things, like one of them is healing, one is joy, sadness, one is money, control, creativity. Like when we are really willing to let all this go, we invite ourselves to choose what would we like now. So you're in constant control of what it is your destination. You get to create it.
You've actually taught this in schools and military DOD and the VA. I think that's really cool. So how do you go about doing energy work for the military and the VA? How does that happen?
Okay, so let's take it a step back. Okay,
You go to the general with some crystals and you're like, hey, I have something for you guys. Here's
No, but we go back to the beginning. I said I want to tell the whole world about it. And before I discovered Access Consciousness, I have my own management consulting company. And prior to that, I was an executive in the not-for-profit world. So I worked for an organization called Easter Seals. And with Easter Seals, I was like, we need to work with the military. So I started going after some contracts and creating some partnerships with the military. And when I came to Access, I was like, wow, I've worked with so many veterans and so many active military in different capacities, with my leadership programs and dealing with, trauma and different things that are going on in their lives. And I was like, they need to know about the bars. And so I went and I had a meeting with back then, who was the second in command to the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs. And we had a great conversation about the bars. And he, of course, was a wounded warrior himself, had been injured and became a veteran. And so, we had this conversation and he was just like, this is incredible. But guess what? I can't help you. And I was like, what do you mean? He says, we need to have all this medical, scientific approvals, blah, 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 all these different things. And I was like, really? He's like, yes, lead with your leadership program. And then let's talk about this later. And I was like, when I left, I was like, no, this doesn't work for me. It doesn't work to have this. And the world needs to know about it. And then I started putting more of the bars into my Leaders of Tomorrow program, and I started talking to more and more people. And then I talked to a retired captain in the Army. And she was like, I love this. I love the bars. I love what you're putting together. Let's start creating more awareness about what this is. And at the time, we were having some neurological testing done on the bars and the effects of it. And so I knew the white paper was on its way, but I wasn't going to wait for the white paper. So we started having more and more conversations. And then guess what? The military changed its hub for where injured military come in and where the veterans come in. So I lived in the DC area in Bethesda, and the Naval Hospital became the hub where anything that happens. So if someone gets injured in Germany, they get treated in Germany and then they come to Bethesda. And so we started targeting the Naval Hospital. How can we contribute? And this captain went for her appointment and she's like, they're doing massage here. They're doing Reiki here. Why would we not be able to do bars? And I said, let's go. Let's do this together. And we did. We approached them. We told them about it. We have bars is in 176 countries. It has helped people in military, in schools, people in business, people who are massage. Like, it has truly contributed to so many people around the world. And so, of course, they kept giving us, like, their standards, do this rule. And each time we just kept going, okay, what else is possible? Okay, how can we bring this in? Like, we never gave up. It was really that constant, like, we are not going to let the rules and regulations and someone's whatever stop us. And we did. We got in. And can I tell you, the whole plan was our first step there. It wasn't about teaching them. It was about going and providing the service to them. We went and they said, okay, only wounded warriors and their caregivers. And we're like, okay. So we were, as you walk into the hospital, this one main part of the hospital, we were right in the front. People walked by, they were confused. They were like, what the heck is this? They didn't want to have anything to do with it. And then one veteran and his wife came over to me and they're like, what is all of this? And I said, let me show you. And they did. They sat down. They each got 15 or 20 minutes. He said, I cannot believe this. I don't have pain in my body anymore. I haven't experienced no pain in my body. And I don't even know since when. His wife fell asleep. She was so relaxed. And she's like, I'm usually the one stressed because I have to care for him. I've never felt this relaxed before. And then people started coming. And then we had admirals who came and got their bars run. Nice. We had consultants at the hospital. We had nurses. When we were supposed to finish at 6:00, we had nurses who came, please don't close. My shift closes, finishes right now. Please, can I come get? And then we had other groups within other parts that came in. And that's where mushroom. But it really was, when someone says no, and something greater is available, don't give up.
Right. That's a really fantastic story. So now you just travel, like you're building a wellness center in Bali, and that's part of
Dubai.
Dubai. Oh, Dubai.
Not Bali.
I was talking to someone earlier today. It was Bali. Dubai. That's even cooler, I think. Is this like a formal organization that you put together? It's called Global Wellness for All Centers. How is it that you're building a wellness center in Dubai? Is that just like a side hustle for you? I mean, what is it?
Okay, so let me explain a little bit more about me. Okay. I have over 30 years of experience in the business arena, working in technology, healthcare, so many fields, okay, and not-for-profit experience as well. And when I learned the bars, it was really cool. And it really got me to realize it's one of many body of work within Access Consciousness. So there's one that's called Joy Business, right? Voice for You, Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids, Conscious Horse, Conscious Right. Like, there's so many that I was really excited about learning about all of these things. And I'm a facilitator of many of them. I still have my management consulting company, which is called Bella Pimo. And then in 2016, well, first I had another business called Joy, Love, and Harmony. And then I realized it captured only a small audience of what the body of work that I was doing wanted to reach. And so in 2016, Global Wellness for All was incorporated. And from the first day, I heard the voice, Global Wellness for All, and what it desired to create was wellness centers around the world. It wanted to be in schools. It wanted to be in airports. It wanted to be everywhere. And at that moment, I was literally traveling, not every week because I was still married at the time, but very close. And I was traveling to different countries, not just to teach the bars. I was meeting with businesses and doing consulting work. I was going to communities and empowering them with the bars, with body work, with other energetic work, with joy business tools, with right voice for you tools. Like there was a lot of different things that I was going and sharing it. Because what I found in my consulting business is that, yes, I can have individuals that come and have, coaching or sessions with me, or it's their business. But I want the world to know these tools are available. And communities aren't always able to access that because they're not working for that company. So I really made it my mission to go empower the world. And to do that, I couldn't be in one location. And I was in Portugal when COVID happened. And so for many years, my business has been saying wellness center. And I kept saying, wait, not yet. And then during COVID, I couldn't say wait anymore. More than ever, this is the time. We need to empower ourselves to know we can have more wellness. We don't have to go have 10 shots of something to become well. You don't need 10 shots. You need to have a greater communion and communication with your body. And when you start listening to your body, you start listening to your business, you start listening to your finances, is when you actually start to create the change in your life that you can create. Because there is no one size fits all. Everybody's different. And the more you add you being you into this mix, it's just different. And so I did. And I was going to start the first center in Portugal, but I decided, the municipality and mine, our timing was not the same. So I was approached by this wellness building in Dubai. And they said to me, please, will you design a spa for us? And I was like, no, I will not. The world doesn't need another spa. The world needs a wellness center that includes components of a spa. And so we started to talk, and he was like, yes, exactly. This is what we need.
Awesome.
We need to revolutionize what we need to have out there. It's not that the spa is wrong, but we have to go deeper. For the people who want to go deeper, we have to go deeper. For the ones who don't, yes, we're going to have massage, we'll have Reiki, we'll have the bars, we'll have body work, but we're also going to have business workshops. We're going to have ways for you to have greater awareness about your finances, becoming a leader. Like there's going to be all these there's pillars. And one of the pillars is the earth, creating your business with the earth, creating your life with the earth. We need to create a thriving planet. The way we're going does not work. We're not doing it from scaring people. It just is, this is not working. And we have to individually become leaders to change it.
I think it's amazing that you're doing that. You mentioned that you want to get this word out there. And, in that sense, in that very loose sense, I feel the same way. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. There are so many methods out there. I'm very impressed with access bars. You work with a number of different methodologies, and there's hundreds, there's thousands of methodologies out there that, and a lot of this stuff can be done remotely. So there's no reason that, I mean, you could do this from anywhere in the world, hence the name Global Healing Hub. It's not because it's a big, fantastic global thing. It's really, truly because we are now more than ever easily and totally globally accessible to everyone. So why not make these methods available to everyone? Now, access bars, I understand that it's largely about being, one-on-one, next to that person. From what I understand, there are elements that can be done remotely, and but that being said, access bars, you said 170 countries throughout the world is
176
176. So, if you want the true access bar, the non-remote version, there probably is someplace fairly close to you where you can get that modality, work done on you.
Yeah. Well, let me clarify a little bit. Okay.
Please.
As a practitioner, you cannot run someone's bars on Zoom. Okay. No, that's not there. The whole purpose of the bars is that it's assisting you and your body to receive. Our whole world is about, let me do. Let me give. The bars, when you receive, the person is gifting, they're receiving, and you're gifting. It's this cycle of gifting and receiving at the same time with each other, which is the coolest part, okay? But the body needs to be touched. And so what we did with COVID, which was an exception, was that we realized so many people were at home and they needed to have the tools. So what's been made available is that you could do for you, or you could do to help people that come and you touch. So there's classes you can take. There's free workshops that you can do just to learn some of the points. You could do it for yourself and create more ease in your world.
I see.
Now, you can also take the training online, because now we have made it available. But just know you don't get credit to become a facilitator for it. But if you go in person and have a class done in person, the one-day class, afterwards you become a practitioner, you're licensed, and you can get paid to provide this service. So if you're doing it just for you and the relaxation of you and your family and your home, that's fine. You could do it online. But if you're looking to do this maybe more than just for you and your family and friends, or you can even charge your family and friends, it's like, we have kids. We just did 2 days ago, I was at the park. We had, 8 or 9 kids that just took the bars class. Wow. We have a program just for kids. Okay. It was so beautiful. They're all different. They all function differently. How they learned it. We had 8 till probably, I think, 14 years old was the range. And it was magical to watch how they learned it. And they all did it different. Like, there's points, but it's not, you can't get the points wrong. Even if your hand is in the wrong spot, the energy is going to work. And what I found is even the teenagers want to come to the next adult class because they loved it so much, and they realized how much it benefited them. But we had kids with autism. We had kids who are fully functional kids. We had kids all over the spectrum of autism. We had kids with ADD. Like, it was so beautiful that it doesn't matter what you've been labeled as. The youngest child that's ever taken my bars class is 2 years old. And the oldest was 90. Okay. Wow. So it's not like, am I a therapist? Am I a massage person? Am I this? No, it has nothing to do with it. I was an executive when I did it, it just is that curiosity and desire to say, let me try it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's what's so fantastic about so many of these methods that, even I talk about on the Global Healing Hub. I keep on wanting to call it Karma Hub still. It's the Global Healing Hub. Is that so much of the stuff you can do yourself. I mean, if it's Reiki, I mean, we actually have this energy in our body. We could give ourselves this energetic version of Reiki without being attuned. But if you want to get attuned, it doesn't cost very much. And then you could do it on yourself. You could do it on your dog. You could do it on your children. It doesn't mean you have to be a practitioner. It doesn't mean you have to do anything formal with it. You can just personally benefit from it. And it really helped me out an awful lot. I mean, I'll sit and watch TV and give myself Reiki. I'll drive my car and give myself Reiki. It just puts you in, it evens everything out and puts you in a much better, some people are really big into meditation. I struggle with it. For me, I get into maybe a meditative type space when I give myself energy. And I didn't give it to anybody else aside from my dogs and myself for probably 7 years. That might be an exaggeration, maybe 5 years. Because it just wasn't my intent. I didn't plan to be a practitioner. I just thought all this stuff was very strange, but it helped me out.
Yeah.
So I use it for me.
The thing is, we are energy, we are space, and we are consciousness. And what all of these tools, they're tools to contribute to you having more fun, more ease, more possibilities. Like bars is one of, I don't even know how many, honestly. It's 100 other things that we do in Access. So it's the first, but it's not something like, even the founder and the co-founder, they run their bars every day. It's not something you learn at the beginning, you let it go. It just keeps getting better and better. Every session's different. But Access is about empowering you to know what you know. And there's questions. Like one question we just ask is, how does it get even better than this? When things are going well, ask it, allow it to get greater. When things are not going well, ask it, let it get greater, and what else is possible you've never considered before. It's about the space of being a question, because when you are a question, you open the doors to the whole universe being able to contribute. But when you do it from answer, you block it, like literally you physically put a box around what it is, and you only give yourself permission to receive awareness for what's inside your box. And so, we have energetic things. I do sessions with my clients around the world. I don't do bars online, but there's all these other things. There's symphony of possibilities. There's, I'm a maestro. I have some maestro. Like there's so many different things. My friend yesterday asking me questions. We're also gifting each other energies. It's not just asking a question. So, if we really look, most of us have been looking at what's available to us from a very small space. This is me, this is my body, this is my house, this is where I live, this is how I function, this is my job. This is my lover, my husband, wife, whatever, my family. No, we're infinite beings and we have access to an infinite universe. And the minute we expand out, it's not about excluding your body. Your body is your best friend and it's here to contribute to you and it's part of your embodiment. But when we start to actually utilize the energies, just space, when you add space, you're no longer going to be upset, because the upset is when you're shrinking in your body. You're not the size of your body. When you expand or you watch something that makes you laugh, it massages your organs. You have more space, you have more possibilities. You're going to have more awarenesses, So we have to also give ourselves permission that everything, including Reiki, including tools of access consciousness, including laughing, including your animals, these are all part of the oneness of you. Wow. And when we allow us to receive, like you do, you hug your dog, you melt, you let it all go. What's the same thing? Get your bars run? It's like hugging a dog, it's not, but it is, like I'm just putting it metaphorically, right? But
energetically, you're open.
You expand your receiving.
Okay. Yes.
You expand your awareness, you expand your consciousness. And that's us. When we are being joyful, by the way, joyful, I used to think was just when I'm laughing and I'm happy. No, when there's joy and there's expanded lightness of you, that's you. When there's heaviness, that is not you. Okay. When it's true for you as lightness, heaviness is when you're resonating with the energies of this reality, which is form, structure, and get you out of your miracle magic and you being you. Okay. I don't make it wrong, but we have to differentiate because people have problems. I have people who call me about relationship problems. I have a program about, conscious vagina. I have programs of different things. So people call me about all sorts of problems. And then one session or two or three or whatever, they just realize, hey, I can create a different world for myself. I don't have to sit here and live in the story of the problem anymore. Even their health problems go away. Their problems, intimacy or whatever, like it goes away because they're willing to try something different. Now, everyone gets to choose. I'm disclaimering it that I'm not the person with the answers and I'm not the healer that's going to heal you of everything, but I can empower you and your body to heal what you want to heal.
So one of the first times I spoke to you, you had mentioned something about was it Access Bars Day? It was a large group of people.
Yeah.
The fact that many people were getting together was amazing. And then you started speaking about consciousness, like that this has a sort of consciousness. And if one in the group of people, I don't remember how many you said there were, hundreds or thousands or,
Yeah.
but if one person makes that change, if one person makes a change, then it actually somehow affects the people surrounding in that whole group. It's like a collective consciousness. So one beneficial change in turn affects everybody within that community of,
So it's funny because most of us would say, if I do something, maybe it affects my family, right? Or if I do something at work, it affects my coworkers, my boss, the business, right? My clients.
Okay.
But we live in a world of oneness. It doesn't mean you and I are one. We're not. We are collectively part of oneness. It's like we are each a drop, but we're also the ocean. So each drop of the ocean and the ocean. And this, I had no idea until my first bars session. But what we have found is that there is this, it's not just when you get your bars run, but once a year, yes, we have what's called Global Bars Day. And it's in January and it happens in different, it's like being recorded in one part of the world. Like this year it was in Houston, but then it's people all around the world who are inviting people into their home, into their office space or whatever else, or into a venue. And we're all gifting and receiving bars. And this year I actually was in Moscow and we had about 100 people in the room and we had a big TV screen. So we were airing what was happening. And so there's conversations going on with the founder, the co-founder, and other people in Access, facilitators who are coming during these hours. And we're sharing information with each other while everyone around the world is actually running bars. And what we found is that when you let go one point of view, like, for example, one point of view I had, my dad would always say, you have to work hard to make money, And so I grew up, I have to work hard to make money, even though he lied because he had so much fun. He wasn't working hard. He worked 12 hours, but he enjoyed it, So, but that's something I learned and it becomes a point of view. And so when I got my bars run, that point of view disappeared. And then I got to choose, I can have fun and make money. I can have ease and make money. You know what I mean? I got to choose what that was going to be for me. But when I let go that point of view, it wasn't just me letting it go. What happens is you let it go, and 350,000 at least around the world let it go. So how does that happen? Well, we're energetically connected. It's not just your family. So whoever wants to. So like, for example, you had knee pain, okay? And you don't have knee pain anymore. Whatever you let go of that, let go of the knee pain, anyone else in the world that had that knee pain, it can be let go too. But most of us, we don't. We freak out when something we know that's been there a long time goes away and we bring it back.
Right.
So someone in Japan could now have no more knee pain and they consider it a miracle. And someone in Russia might say, oh, what happened to my knee pain? I have to bring it back. How do I bring it back? You know, like it just is like the energy and that contribution can go, but it's still someone's choice, you know? But they don't know you let go. They don't know you, Loren. So they don't know who you are. They don't know what happened around the world, but it's the butterfly effect.
If you do this at the same time and as many other people, so you could collectively get healed, or you can squelch a lot of triggers, or a lot of good things can happen to you if you do it at the same time as a bunch of other people.
Well, you could do it by yourself. You could do it by yourself.
But so if I do it by myself, I'll think of one thing, and maybe I'll think of another thing, and maybe so maybe I'll come up with a handful. But if I'm doing it with 5 people, and each of them think of 5 things, then I'm potentially being helped along with.
It's the multiplier effect,
right?
You know, it is. That's why, okay, so one of the things in the BARS manual is people always asked, actually not in the BARS manual, but in the body manuals. So BARS is one, and then there's this whole other body of work of body processes. And, you know, you take the imprints off your body with these different processes, and there's 60 in one manual, but there's probably hundreds, maybe 1,000 body processes. And so people always ask, can I do it to myself? Okay. And yes, if you learn a body process, you can do it to yourself. And I do all the time. Like, you know, I will touch my body and I will run certain energies. This works. But when you do for you, it's like 1 + 1 = 2. But if there was 100 of us in that room running that body process or other body processes together, it's the multiplier of 1 × 100, or 1 time, you know, if there's 100 people. So when someone else does for you, and when you do with others, the multiplier effect comes in. So if you and I are doing it, it's 1 × 100. Add more people, and then it multiplies even greater.
So, I mean, that sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I know.
I mean, really. I mean, When you get into this realm, there's a lot of stuff that's just so completely bizarre that, you know, I've witnessed and accepted. And so, you know, I've often throw out the analogy of, you know, I have these set of beliefs that are completely and totally ridiculous that I now truly believe are true. And when other people throw out these set of beliefs, which are also completely and totally ridiculous, I am now at a point now where I'm like, okay, it's possible. You know, I'm at least open to the possibility that this handful of ridiculousness of that is potentially true, because I have my own handful of ridiculousness that I truly believe is true. So why not be open to other stuff that is really hard to get your head around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if, so one thing I found is don't trust me and don't believe me. Okay. You need to learn about you and your body. And one of the tools is what is light for you, what is expansive for you is usually what's true for you. And what is heavy is usually not. It doesn't resonate with your points of view. So, for example, I love, I don't know, let's say avocados. Okay. I love
Okay.
avocados. If you hate avocados, it's going to be heavy for you. But if I like avocados, it's going to be light for me when I say I love avocados, because it's what resonates with you. And so I always tell people, please do not trust me, trust you and your knowing. And it's about you expanding your knowing and trusting you more, trusting your body more. And when your body shrinks and you're going like that contracted feeling, something's off. Don't go with it. That usually means red flag. Something is not resonating, And so I hear a million things on the news, people talking. There's so many modalities around the world. There's so much, honestly, also bullshit around the world. And I've learned what is my marker to know what works for me and what is true for me. And if you really go by what's light for you, it will guide you, and with all of this, I was hesitant. I came from a business background. I came from a scientific background. My degree is in cellular and molecular biology. It was about proving.
Okay.
This is nothing about proving, and it's the unknown of possibilities. And so, I yesterday there's an energy called energetic facelift, and so that's another energy that Access Consciousness has. And my friend and I, we were doing a swap with it, and it's magical. It has like truly 65 different energies in it. And with this energy, it was really interesting because last year we had this training globally, people in their homes, but they had to have partners that were physically there with them. And we did it with thousands of people. And I experienced the energy of like one-on-one session, and then the experience of all of us, people from all around, like China, Japan, Russia, Malaysia, US, Europe, like Finland, like it was like all these different places, and the energies are so different in these countries. And so what I know of even this facelift energy, there were so many other energies that got added. And so I've just learned, what's true for me, and go with that. You don't have to make something real for you that it's not resonating.
Well, this has really been fantastic. Is there something else that you wanted to add before we started to wrap things up?
I wanted to just say there's a lot of things in the world, find what's going to work for you. They're all tools for us to be empowered to what we actually know. I just happen to be really excited to the body of work with Access Consciousness, and it's fast, and I've seen a lot of changes. I mean, I've had people come to me who had stage 4 cancer. Nothing worked. They started cutting their organs to take the cancer out. And after a couple of sessions and teaching them and their daughter bars, she's 10 years in remission. But it's not remission. It's actually, she's made it disappear, I had someone who fell down and broke a disc in their spine, 2 sessions, and they weren't. It's not about me. It's the space I can be. It's the energies I can provide. But it's, what are you desiring? What is your body desiring? It's empowering you and your body to heal you. So, I don't know. I just get so excited. And that's why I travel. For the last 12 months, twice I've stayed somewhere more than 2 weeks. I'm just off to a new country because so many people want to know how else can they empower themselves, and they are curious. So I really wonder what's possible now, because COVID created a lot of havoc, but it also created people stepping up and actually wanting to explore what's true for them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This has been amazing. To connect to Laleh and other practitioners, go to theglobalhealinghub.com.
Thank you for being here with us, whether you were listening or watching. We are so grateful for you, and we need your help. We would love to spread the seeds of wellness all around the world. Will you assist us? You can subscribe below. You can subscribe in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We are everywhere. And we ask, would you be willing to actually spread this to others that you may know who can actually be contributed with the tools and resources to bring more wellness into their life and into their bodies?